when you were accepted to Y Combinator, you were expecting to be a competitor to Slack.
Yes.
That was what was on your application deck. In reality, you had 13 pivots before landing upon BAML. Do you want to tell us about that adventure? I mean, you could even kind of tell us about why you did Y Combinator at all, and
Yeah.
then yeah, the initial idea and all those pivots.
My co-founder and I had met over 8 or 9 years ago while we were just graduating from college in like 2015. Both graduated at UT Austin, and we just became friends because we're both gluttons for misery. And like 8 or 9 years later, he worked for a while at Amazon. I worked for a while at like some other companies, Microsoft, Google, and a few hedge funds. And I was like, that was really fun, but I kind of want to do something dumb. And the dumb thing was I wanted to go and innovate and create something from scratch that no one had ever seen before. Because we're both builders, and building things just gives a level of satisfaction. So when we started out, I remember playing out in the ed tech space for some time. We tried out in the creator economy, and we all thought we had this edge because I did stuff in the ed tech space before that. My co-founder used to run a YouTube channel, funnily enough, to hundreds of thousands, I think millions of views for a while. I So we kind of played on our edge, and then eventually we're like, oh, we both hate remote work. Let's go solve this Slack thing because Slack sucks. I don't know, like Slack is way better than email for sure, but it's so distant, and everyone on Slack feels like a colleague. And what I love about work is having friends. Same reason me and Aaron, my co-founder, are friends. So we tried to solve that problem, and we applied to Y Combinator with it. I've actually applied like 4 times to Y Combinator over the last 10, 15 years, 10, 12 years. And this was the first time where not only, so we've gotten the interview a few times. I'd gotten the interview like 3 of those 4 times. And I got it this last time. And that's the first time we got in. But I remember very distinctly the partners in the interview being like, this Slack thing is not going to work. Do you guys have other ideas? And it's fortunate that we had both worked on hard technical problems beforehand so we could talk about them. But I also remember distinctly saying, we think it's going to work. We probably shouldn't change our idea. But the key insight to us was just that Aaron spent 9 years doing distributed systems. I spent like 9 or 10 years building algorithms and assembly. We probably should be building UIs, like just a small hunch. And a while later, during the Y Combinator batch, we actually decided to move away from Slack and try and go do something in the machine learning space. And the reason was during the batch we joined was Winter 23. That was a batch when ChatGPT came out. It was wild in SF that month, that I guess 3 months when we were there. Everything was moving so fast. There was so much information. But one thing was constant. We had, like, just due to our backgrounds and us being slightly more seasoned engineers than some folks. I mean, not saying that they're bad, just we had worked in industry a little bit more than a lot of other folks. We were naturally just answering a lot of questions to a lot of our batchmates. And we figured out most of the questions were machine learning, and we just help them. And it was fun. We do it on top of our startup, which is not related to AI at all. So then it kind of just made sense for us to move into that direction. And when we realized the real direction we wanted to play in, it wasn't fine tuning. It wasn't even like any of like the SDK layer, because the fundamental problem was no matter if you build a Python SDK, whether you build a TypeScript SDK, like there's Vercel AI SDK, there's Pydantic AI, and a whole bunch of other systems. The problem is naturally expression. The expression that you can make in those SDKs is restricted by the language. And lastly, I think every person in the world, every software in the world is going to use AI in some form or another. Whether you're a C++ shop, whether you're a Java shop, whether you're a Go shop, all of them will use something. And anytime we need something that has cross-language compatibility, it's always been a new syntax. JSON, YAML, TOML, they're all new syntaxes that are globally supported. And I think that's a really underlooked point in a lot of systems that I've seen.